people use splitting rails and all that. I don't do this enough. We use splitting rails. I see a bit of a gasket in there. Some of it wants to come, some of it wants to stay, so. Yes, so we're splitting fairly well there. Just want to keep it nice and straight and even. Okay. Easy does it. Toga bra reggae. Toga boogie. Okay. Which release bearings definitely changes some kind. We're not going too bad, lads. We're not going too bad. My little plan with the trailing trolley jack stand seems to be working very well anyway. I'm happy with that, as long as I suppose it's attached to the bloody trolley jack, so if that wanted to go against it or flying off, that's going to follow. But this is where if you had someone else, you just have them just push in the axle stand as you're pulling the tractor forward. Another thing I noticed that I'm very happy about is the front of the tractor. The engine is staying nice and level. And that's from tapping in those bits of timber. Really worthwhile doing that. Okay. Let's go this way just a little bit. Now I suppose the question is, how far do you go? Well, I just go as far as I need to go to work on the bloody thing, you know. This is fairly tight, so if I am going in, I try well actually the whole lot more tight, and I don't want to go pulling them out. Okay. So we have a leaking input shaft, definitely. Fingers on the pressure plate. Don't look too bad. I'm going to take all that off. I'm trying to think, the more I push it forward, the harder it's going to be pushing it back. So I might try and work the way it is. We'll see. I'm very happy with that. No drama. Lovely and safe. We've got another axle stand there. We've got timber. We've got our bottle jack to do fine tuning. We've got our trailing axle stand there. I think I might patent that. That is cool. I like that. Right. Let's go and give you a look at what's happening in there in the bell housing. The work lamp, give you a quick look at what's happening in there. So input shaft seal. It's going to have a feel in there. See, I'd say it's leaking. Yeah, that's fine. We want it there. I want to replace it anyway. So now I want to check the fingers on the pressure plate while it's still there, still on. So all I'm doing here is just having a feel for what's with the vernier calipers to see what sort of measurement is on. I think between 30 and 35 mil is okay, so we'll just fire that in. I'll be doing this again anyway, but I just want to get a feel for 38.7. $36.5. 36, 35.9, so 36, and 36. Okay, we're actually really good. Jesus, I'm very happy with that. So it's about a mil out. So is it worth even doing that with them? I'll ask someone a bit more of a professional than I am, a bit more of an expert than I am, but that is straight away looking to me to be at least very close to the ballpark. And you know, years of people pressing the release bearing in on those, like, it's not too bad, like. So 9/16, I had some of these loose. Then I realised tighten them back up because you want to take your measurements before you go take them. So that's good. There's your fingers coming out there as you loosen these. Nice and easy because you pull the whole engine off. Easy enough. One more the other side. We're good to go. I try to pull upwards with these. And the one below is missing. Not great, lads, not great. Someone was definitely rude. This is a new style. It looks like an aftermarket pressure plate, but Jesus Christ, I've put the bolts back in. You need to have all them in. They all affect the fingers and the pressure. At the end of the day, it's called a pressure plate. Like, it puts the pressure on the touch plate or the touch disc in towards the flywheel, and you want that to be as even as possible. I look up the torque settings for these, and I put in the back to have them all equal. And but Jesus, yeah, one thing is for sure. Before I go any further, I'm going matching up myself one of these bolts straight away. So we have that. I'll try it for a fit now. So there we go. That's what we're looking for. UNC coarse thread 9/16 head. So I'll go get me bolts and we'll match up in one of them. So spare bolt and spring washer. Make sure it's not rung off. Make sure it goes in. It's rung off with a bit of work on our hands. Doesn't seem to be rung off, but it could have moved a little bit when we loosened there from that. So we'll just make sure. I'll just put up another one of them there and just make sure it goes in. Could just be the threads a little bit dirty on the bolt to have one. No. It's identical. Make sure it goes in. Yeah. I'll give it one more go. The plates are to drop and that's all, so we're okay. Everything's loose. Right. Get ourselves a little tub. Put all that in. So that is how we do things here in Daz's Den. Get an engine in for stripping for parts. Bolts, nuts, washers, spring washers, studs. They go into the parts washer. Dry them with an old tea towel like an absolute nut job. But then when it comes to jobs like this, you put your hand on them, you can see them. They're clean, you can look at the thread and say that's coarse thread, I want that one, I need that one. It's fine thread, that's not the one I want. So it's worth, really worth stocking up these. Okay. So very, 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 very good condition. Wow, that is fantastic. There's not, it might look a little bit like there's scratches on it, but there's nothing there at all. You can feel. Yeah, clutch plate is fairly well worn there. You can see it's, yeah. That'll benefit from a new one, surely. Okay. How's our flywheel? Flywheel is perfect. Our spigot bearing, perfect. No roughness, well greased, really good. Really happy with that. Bit of a clean down, degrease or wipe. Roughen it up with a bit of sandpaper if you want. Spiral kind of circular motions. But it looks very, very good to me. Just keep it dry, keep it clean. It's definitely the best idea there. I just want to have a look at the clutch pedal here and see. I'll turn this in a way that's not blinding us. It's not going to be much help there, I don't think. I have a sneaky suspicion now that footboard is really limiting the travel of this pedal. So I just, you can see how much more it can come. And they don't normally do that. They don't normally limit things so much. Turn off that work lamp. Just the footboard is definitely stopping the pedal going down. It's definitely only letting it go a certain amount. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to have a bit of a think about that footboard and maybe cut those wells. Right, so my plan of action with this clutch is simple. I'm going to use input shaft sticking out to line the clutch, the new clutch. So I'm going to rebuild the clutch side of things, and then I'm going to do the seal. Before I put in the input shaft, the new seal, I'll use the input shaft to actually align the new clutch. Because I'm going to get the clutch now and make sure. So there's the new clutch. So I want to make sure that goes on there easy. Some of these can be an utter pain. So that's not too bad. Someone has actually filed or machined the end of it, I think. Or maybe that's the way they are factory. I don't remember seeing them like that before. That's going on. Yeah, someone has actually machined it, would you believe? Actually, why am I saying would you believe? It makes life a lot easier. Yeah. You have to be careful, you don't want to go putting grease on that rat, because all it ends up doing is splashing everywhere. How's our input shaft? Does that feel good? Second perfect. Feels really, really good. Really good. And where our spigot bearing goes as well. We definitely have to do a little bit of work on that. A little bit of a burr on it. Someone will machine that as well to help line up things. So we'll just do a little check on that. But all in all, things are looking good. So what I might do now, since it's an easy job, is pull out that release bearing. Just since it only involves pulling 2 springs. We'll try and get you in as close as we can. I'm sure it's been tracked before, it's fairly kind of the same in all of them. There you go. It's 1 spring, like so. Other spring, like so. Out with the release bearing. There you go. Little bit rough, alright, so it definitely needs to be replaced. But not too bad. These are all meant to be sealed for life. So what we can be doing, I suppose, since it's an easy enough job, well, it can actually be usually easy. We'll see now. Is this one going to be as easy? We can tap that out. I'm trying to think. It's been a little while since I did this. About 2 years since I did this. Camera stand is No. Some people use a press. It's easier fitting them on than it is tapping them out. You need to get the washer on that, or a socket maybe. If I have a socket big enough for that, 36 maybe. I can't remember where I'm probably 36. Yeah, is that big enough? That's probably big enough there, so we'll get a lump hammer and tap them out. Let's give this a go. Okay. So we'll give him a wipe down. Make sure there's no burrs from us tapping that. Doesn't seem to be. So. But with the parts washer, I think is the best job for him. Get all that oil and stuff off it there. Apart from that, that should be ready to go. It's a lovely part, really high quality part. The machining on it is second to none after all these years. It's crazy. Wow. Lovely casting, rough around there, and machines in other places. Really nice. Lovely to be working with these parts. So I suppose what we can do is get the new one and have that much done, I suppose. So let's cut the new one up and package open. Okay. Wow. Yeah, nice difference in the two of them now. Wow. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let's see if there's any part number on that. Is it Timken? Timken? No. So it's not original, so it was done at some point. But it's a little bit rough. Not too bad. Still be life left in it, but when you're splitting the tractor, it's the time to do it, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Lovely. So let's get that lined up there now and get ready to tap it back on. That literally pushed on, and all we have to do now, thankfully, is just literally tap it in just the slightest bit more. That pushed on by hand. So, nice. Very good. I'm very happy with that. So just the slightest little tap, just to close that gap, and we're done. So I just want to be careful because tapping these on is a little bit different than taking them off. You can obviously use that surface that there to tap out. Tapping them on, you have to be careful because you don't want to go crushing at in there. So nice and easy does it. You just have a feel of things as you're doing it. So we're closing the gap nice and easy. Little bit more. And it's just come out there now, so we'll have to put it down on something just to give it the final little nip. So have a look up and make sure you're supporting it as best as possible and let back your voice just the slightest little bit. And that is it there. So the least amount of tapping is what we want there. God, it feels these. I love a new release bearer. There's Jesus Christ, they feel $1 million. One more little tap, just to make sure And there we go. There's the little metallic knock that you want, the metallic ring that you want. She is ready to go. So I'll put that in there. The owner might want to keep it. Supplying all parts back with the take off the tractor. Giving them all back to the owner. So brilliant, another job done. So I just give the flywheel a bit of a degreaser wipe. All cleaned up lovely, all in around there. Just give it a quick dry off now. Feels perfect. Very good. Couldn't be happier with that. Go and start taking out a little bit of that oil that was leaking out the input shaft seal. And just try and clean up a little bit of it there, and that flaky paint. Degreaser wipe. The heavy of it out. Not too bad. The seal is definitely, I'd say, thinking about starting to leaking, but not too bad. Just so when I have my arms in there, I suppose I'm not frightened of getting my hands dirty now. I think it's fairly obvious from the videos now, but at the same time, so we're not soaking ourselves through to the skin and the arms, manhandling things in there. Drain hole is clear, that's the most important thing. It's meant to be a split pin in that. Then we'll have to take out our clutch head of the shaft, going through the bell housing, get that fork yoke off then for the release bearing. That can be a little bit awkward. There's castellated nuts on that, and the split pins on them as well. So I might need a little bit more space in there, but I just prefer to try and keep the space as tight as possible. The further you push out the tractor this way, the harder it is on your own to get it back straight. So I definitely get a hand pushing it back anyway. So I might get in there now and start taking out some, try and get the input shaft out. Then we can start rebuilding our clutch. But of course that's going to go reducing the space I have, so I'm better off doing a little bit of work in there to get my input shaft out. I can use that to centralise the clutch. Don't really have to, I've a tool made, but it's always, I find it the easiest. So you're going to be able to see, I might just actually lower the camera here. Just down a touch. I know I've left space fairly limited here. Let's see, to actually get a camera in, and I have the radius rods in the way as well, so it's not 100% ideal. But if we are to hold things roughly about there, wouldn't we get a bit of a look in? Yeah. Might need a work lamp. Put down a bit of rubber there, just to save my, I know it's going to do that, just to save my knees. Oh, sorry about that. I'm struggling here with the handle of the camera there. Just try and get the camera in focus on where I hope to work. If I can get in there. This radius rod is a little bit awkward here, so I've got to get these split pins out. So that is always a little bit awkward. Cut really short. Okay. Right. I know what I need. I'm going to get a small pliers and get in there. Give them straight and hopefully it'll come out easy. Definitely what I am definitely tight for space, but if we can do all this. God, that's tight enough in there now. It's a pity they didn't have them facing towards me, and I'd be able to straighten them up a lot easier. But I think we're getting them on there. We get the snouty pliers in out of there. There we go. One, Ibrahim. And I'm putting these in. I'm going to face them out towards me. They'll probably never be split again. This tractor probably, hopefully, won't need it. But there we go. This one was able to bend my hand. If I'm not mistaken, they're 2 11/16 with a screwdriver end. Is it a flat screwdriver end? Okay, let's go and get the tools we need and have a go at getting them out. I know the visibility isn't great, so I'm going to try and lift the work lamp up a few inches and see does that help. Hopefully it's not rippling. It's not too bad. Quarter inch is the man. And we're not spinning down below yet. If I'm not mistaken, from my memory, this can be awkward. This little screw bolt can be awkward enough to take out. You've got to kind of rattle it one side of the input shaft. But look, what we'll do is we'll take both nuts off anyway and we'll work it from there. I remember trying to actually put the bolts in below. I don't think there's actually not enough space for them. The bolt head. Yeah. There we go. There's no washers on these because they have split pins. Okay, so that's one. Never pain, never dull. So that's good. So these are starting to twist now. So I think one side comes out. Well, there is actually washers on them there, I think, is there? I think it's one side you have to poke through first. And then you go to the other side. Maybe a bit more. Now, that's probably going to involve me moving the camera over here, this side, so that I can work on the side, this side. So we'll just quickly move you around. Hopefully the work lamp doesn't blind things. I would love to be able to sit you up on the engine like that, but I think the chances of the camera actually staying where I want it to stay are going to be fairly low. So we'll try and lift it up a little bit. Just enough to get in there and hopefully get it to focus. Okay. So I'm pushing that clutch pedal right down to the ground, and what that does is gives a bit more space. This side here, I think you push in the clutch pedal as far as it goes. Awkward as hell. Might have to loosen off the 4 bolts in there to get this to move over a bit. I think that's what I did before. So I'll push that bolt back up. Yeah, we'll get in there with our socket now. 9/16 socket, and I think it's 19. We'll work it out, and we'll get. Don't know, will I benefit now from lowering this a bit? I'm not going to be able to see the bolt. Probably. I might just have a go at repositioning the camera there, because I want everyone to be able to see what's going on instead of imagining. I'm not questioning your imagination or anything like that now, but. I just didn't give myself enough space pushing this forward, the engine forward enough, but you know what, as I said, it'll make my life a lot easier. Maybe I'll show you what I'm at so you can see. There's four bolts on the back of that flange in there. You see one below there with the yellow around it and the one above it with the yellow marking. I'm going to take them 4 out. This will move over here a little bit more and I'll be able to get that bolt out like I got the one on the other side. I think that's what I had to do before when I was putting one of these back together. It's just one of them things. So we'll go and get our sockets and all of that and we'll try and get them out. I can keep you here at the side. It's probably the best I can do. Yeah, so we'll do that and we'll come back. Okay, so that's about the best I can do, but you know what I'm at. Just loosen them, that's all. Give us a little bit of Someone was in there before. You can see the gasket go. Oh, yeah. Okay. Give that one another little loosen. Yeah. Okay, that should give us a bit of wobble in the input shaft now, and the kind of casing that's around it. To move it off to one side, to let that bolt out, we can pull out our clutch pedal shaft then, and the input shaft then will, well actually what I'm better off doing is actually just taking all the bolts out to help. That's what I'm better off doing. That's one. Okay. I'm not really a fan, as you probably noticed up to now, of silicone sealant. Well, I suppose when you're talking about parts like this where you have to split to get into them, yeah, like is Indian head going to be enough? I haven't seen these gaskets for sale. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen them for sale. Maybe they are. So if you go making up your own, maybe you want to put a bit of silicone on. Considering it's so bloody hard to get back into it, splitting tractors and all of that. If there was something on the side of that engine there that you can get to, I wouldn't use it in a million years. So that's that. I'm just going to get a plastic hammer with that top. Okay. A bit of oil leaking out there, so fuck. Probably have to let out a bit of oil out of the gearbox. Right, let's get my drain pan in there fairly lively. So it's going to involve moving the camera, that's it. Right, shit happens. Right. Well, we can let that drain overnight anyway. No big deal, we'll give it a wipe out. My only concern is if I go and tap that input shaft out, we'll have a big gush oil. But that's okay. We'll be able to collect it up there. Just going to check the gearbox for level here. Yeah, it's right at the full. Got the nicest looking oil now, in fairness. But look, it's easy sorted. Tap that over a bit, push in our clutch pedal, see if we can get a bit more space to pull that out. awkward enough now. Nearly there. There we go. Now that should move. And then we should be able to pull that out slowly. A little bit. Park over the rest of it. Okay. Camera decided it wanted to stop recording. Maybe there's a bit of oil on the screen. So all I was doing there was just trying to get the clutch shaft out. This is moving now. There's a bit of dirt on it here and there. It's going to make it a little bit stiffer to come out than it should be. I'll just give it a quick twist here. It's a bit stiff, that's all. So that bit of dirt there. Want to be careful about pulling it too much because pull the whole tractor bloody down off the stand. Push it back in. Storage was full, I just had to delete a few bits there. That's no big deal. So, what did I say I was going to do? Yeah, clean this shaft a little bit with the greaser wipe. Just to build up the stuff in there that's making it, catching it there in the bushing. Have new bushings for this if it needs to be. Important to have this fork yoke pushing the release bearing nice and level. They're so cheap, them bushings, you know, you really just replace them. Okay, let's see if that's a little bit easier to come out there. There you go. That's going so far and it's getting a little bit stuck. I'll give it a tap and see. We can clean it up when we get it out. Okay. And it's a little bit sticky in that as well. So yeah, one clutch shaft, release fork. Brilliant. Let's bring you over to the workbench. May as well work on all of this in order. Off with work, lads. Happy days, lads, happy days. It's going smoothly, it's going to plan. We haven't broken it and found a few bolts missing here and there. We have spares. We'll lengthen up the camera stand here. Put this clutch pedal shaft into the vise. And we'll give her a nice cleaning up. Right. Fairly standard issue stuff now, to be honest with you. And these get a little bit dirty. Build up crap there, bit of wear. We'll have a look at the bushings now in a minute. We'll clean this up. See what this is. Is it just what we can do with that. We'll get her up good and shiny anyway, that's what we'll do. Miss anywhere? We did, so we'll put it in here. Shine everything up anyway. We have new bushings there to tap into the bell housing if we need them. Probably put them in anyway, they're very easy to fit. Yeah, that's just how we do it here, isn't it? Clean everything up. There's our little shim. That's going to be A-okay. Hard to get a grip on that. Okay, so we'll put him back on. That's all you can do with him, really. Not the most important part you've got to come across. Right. May as well give this lad the royal treatment as well. All of this prep work means putting it back in the confined space in there goes a lot smoother. Simple as that. Suppose if you're at this every day of the week, you wouldn't be doing this level of cleaning and stuff, but you know what? It all just makes it more enjoyable. It goes back together grand and slow. Fibre bit, no problems, no issues. Okay. That's not going to cause any problem. Beautiful. So we'll go now and take a look at the bushings, see what state they're in. Give them a clean out with a degreaser wipe as well and see what's happening. If we have bushings in the building or have they exited the building. We do have bushings. Okay, so that side's usually the side that wears more, if I'm not mistaken, because the weight of your foot acting on it there. So turn on the work lamp and see what's happening. Don't know if that's going to help. No, it's not. It's only rippling. So I'll just take a quick look. Jesus Christ, that's not good. That's not good for you. Ah yeah, you can see the eye light bushing in there. I presume these were just oiled when they were made and that was it then. I don't know. The man says there's no grease nipple around for them. So let's see is it the whole way around. Yeah, it is, yeah. Okay. Now my experience on new bushings is very simple. You fit them and the bastards start coming in and out. Like Ferguson 20 at home and the whole time tapping this one in. It's a nuisance. One day I'll forget to do it and it'll actually come out completely. And then you'll damage it putting it back in. So we'll have a feel around and see. Sometimes you're better off leaving them ones. They're the only set of bushings in the tractor that I'm not mad about fitting for that reason. That they sometimes end up too loose. Okay. Lovely. So what I'm going to do is going to have a feel there at the input shaft. If I think there's going to be a big gush of oil, it's controllable there at the moment. It'll leak down to where it needs to leak down. And I think it's going to be uncontrollable. I'll just leave it drain there for a while and we'll do something else. Okay, so I have it loose. If I think that's starting to empty a lot of oil, I have another drain pan there, like a seam, and I can actually put it underneath. Turn the thing. No. Happy enough with that. Other bearing staying put, which is good. There's only a bit more oil to drain. So let's have a look at this. Throw it up into the vise, give it an inspection. It looks good so far. So there we go. One input shaft. Yeah, look, the gears. Okay. Not too bad. Make sure that the oil holes are clear as well. Blow that out with the air gun. It's fed with oil through holes on the gears, through one of the teeth. The teeth all look good. Really good. God, the quality. Unbelievable. Unbelievable quality. Rollers on this, look. For the very, very usable. Again, I have replaced these in the past. Just to do it, there's your hole there for the oil. That feeds your oil into the, because this meets another bearing, kind of a cone-shaped roller taper bearing. So that becomes an outer race in there. So lovely part. Our sealant surface there, we'll have to give him a quick polishing up, but it looks good. Look at that for quality, huh? Unbelievable. Where are you going to see this quality again? I do not. Right, give this all a clean down. And in there, it's definitely getting oil, that's for sure. This outer race is good as well. Very, very good. So I did have aftermarket seal. It was put in the right way as well. Spring to the I see exactly what happened there. The spring came off it. Happens when you're putting it in, you see. Happens when you're putting in your gear. Like the spring, when it's on that, it can actually come off. You have to be careful. It's not all that happened. This seal is the spring came off when you're fitting it. It's a nuisance. Happens. You live and you learn. I remember when I was doing the one on the 20 diesel there behind me there, my own one, I had to try it a few times and it actually tried to get rid of the spring as well. So I finally just checked. The last time I was putting it together, I had a spare seal. I could have reused the seal now, but I didn't. But yeah, so you just have to check it as you're putting it in. It's because the spring, the seal is nearly backwards, we'll say. You kind of have to be careful pushing that gear in. Some people actually what to do is they actually tape over the splines. That's what I'll be doing with this. So we'll tap this out. And remember, tapping this out, we need a bit of a long bar for the job. Don't know if I have managed it long enough. I don't think that's going to do it. No. So we'll have to go and just find something there that'll do that. Have to poke it out. No, will this breaker bar work? Yeah, it might. It might do. So that's all that was wrong with this spring. The spring left the building. Unfortunate, but sure, look. Happens. Instead it happened to me. So someone's after doing a bit of silicone in there. Don't know what's that needed, lads. Yeah, I don't know if that was needed now. Anyway, we'll give everything a clean out. At least I had plenty of grease down in there, but it's no good when the spring came off the bloody thing. The spring's probably in the bottom of that bell housing there somewhere. So we'll put it into the vise and we'll just give it a little clean up. Get rid of all of that. And that was just there where the spring goes. I wasn't doing it on the bearing, of course. Out the way of the bearing. Just where that seal goes. Give it a little polish. There was a burr there ratting from people messing before, and there is a burr. Have to sand him out. Just the slightest little burr I can feel. Again, you don't want to be going to splitting the tractor to do this seal. Just this seal, so I'm going to do it right. So yeah, just give it a little polish. You can just probably see the burr there. See it there? There. That's all it takes to take a big nump out of the seal. And when I looked at the side of the seal, I saw a bit of a nump, and I was thinking I didn't do that. There. I would have hit the seal fairly flat. I would have been facing like that to me, so I think I hit it there. So I definitely didn't do that because that would have been already in. So like, that's probably all it takes for this to leak, like, not to be seated right. So that little burr there, that has to go. So we'll get in there with the Dremel and we'll give everything a good little clean out. Just having a look in or behind that outer race there, there's other little marks there now. I'll just get the focus there, you probably see there. Just want to see what that is. Maybe these bearings were replaced. It looks like someone put a pry bar in there, pried it out there and there. Just want to see, there's no burrs on there. It's like they pried out the old one. Won't do any harm. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, what we do have to do is take him out. So that's okay. We'll go do that. I've got the finest polishing, grinding stone on the Dremel. And we're literally going to take just what we need off it. Tiniest bit more. It thankfully hasn't gone the whole way in, it's just very, very lip. Yeah, that's all it takes. That could be the difference between this new seal working, doing its job, or just putting it out of shape. Just that tiniest little bit. So now a little drip of oil coming through there, and it slowly build up at the bottom of the bell housing, and you're wondering then, did you do the job right? And so that's why we're doing this. Have a feel around. Now I was going to look in there, make sure that I clean there now around that seal. I like to get right down in there because, yeah, I have. Now that said, if the seal sticks up a couple of tau from where it should be because of a bit of dirt, what you hope it will do is find it's just sits somewhere different on this shaft. It's not worn in the slightest, it's just polished a bit more in some places than the others. But all in all, I can't see why this wouldn't seal. There's no damage to it. But what we will do is hold it in the vise because there's only a rough cast in there, it won't make a difference. Let's get a bit of Scotch-Brite. Give it a little polish. And what it'll do is it'll just take a bit of that black off it. That black is just kind of like a rubber, kind of left over from rubber, like, and all of that. So Scotch-Brite is the job. It won't scratch the metal. It'll just work on whatever's softer. So if there's a little bit of rubber kind of residue there, it'll take that off. Take the black ring off it a bit there. It's not bad, but we're doing this because it involves splitting the bloody tractor to do it. And we don't want someone else doing this down the road just because I didn't clean things up a little bit. But this is perfect. There's no bangs or knocks or anything like that. It's perfect. Such a piece of metal. Beautiful piece of metal. Piece of engineering. It's lovely. Lovely to be working with this stuff. This will work perfect. Looks like there's a big black mark, but I can tell you one thing with your fingernail now, you can't feel it. Scotch-Brite will do everything we need here. Slightest bit of pitting there. Just there. Very little we can do about that. Some people would say just maybe not tap the seal in the whole way. Get it sitting. That's what you do with a front crank seal sometimes when they're very, very badly. There's a big track worn on them. I did a crank seal on a 135 there not too long ago, a couple of months ago, and there was some fair bloody tracks worn on it. I think all I did was to try and do my measurements and just have it move forward or back a little bit. I forget which way I went. Okay, so that's all right. That to one side, keep it clean and dry. Happy enough that we got that. Jesus Christ, when I think of it, there was a fair burr on that. You can see it there. It's grinded out nicely now, but I don't know what was going on there. Outer race is grand, a little bit of dark here and there, but it's really good in general. I can't feel those imperfections that you can see in it there at all, so can't feel a thing, so happy with them. Okay, what we'll do is we'll tap in our new seal. Now, is the camera going to go up high enough for this? Probably not, so I might have to stand it up on something and I'll come back. Okay, so you're balancing on the stool. There is our new seal, and the spring there is just in there. So I'm going to tap it in with this. So I'll just get my nut and bolt and I'll go through that. Use that as a okay. Oh, the back is giving me jip today. Right, so we'll just line these up. Spring to the oil, spring facing backwards. Favourite hammer. Nice and level. Okay, nice and even. So what I do is just shine a torch in behind and make sure that that is sitting right home. I won't get my mirror in there, it's too big. But we'll get a torch in and we'll see how does that look. Lovely, that's what I'll do and I'll come back then. The thing I want to do, as mentioned before, took out the bolt there. I want to cut this above the brake rod because it's attaching it. So that's coming off there. There was a little washer there, that's ideal. So now we can, this is not kind of standard, it's like off a mid-mountain mowing bar. There would have been a bit there with 2 bolt holes in it, say, for a mid-mountain mowing bar at some point. That has to be cut because it's rubbing off this brake rod, and that's just simply making things harder to press brakes and brakes to release and all of that. So get the grinder, cut in. I'm going to cut that and I'm going to leave it there for today. Enough done. The back is giving me a bit of drip now. It's telling me now enough is enough for today. So an awful lot done between splitting and all the other bits to do with the clutch and the input shaft. So hopefully this will be helpful, and by cutting the video here, I suppose we've kind of just focused on that kind of work and not getting into the other little bits that I can put in the next video. Alright, we'll catch you at the next one.